Major funding for this program provided by the Moving Image Trust Fund. Additional funding for this program provided by the Arkansas Agriculture Department.
Hello, I'm Tony Brooks, and this is Agri Arkansas. Arkansas is a state that's rich with natural resources. It's been said that you could build a fence around our state and we'd be just fine. But that's not so lately when it comes to dairy in Arkansas. Arkansas is a milk deficit state, meaning we consume more milk than we produce. The milk you see on the shelves is more likely to come from New Mexico or Oklahoma than Arkansas. It wasn't always like this. Let's take a closer look now at dairy in Arkansas.
Well, to talk about the state of the dairy industry, first thing you want to talk about is price. And anybody that's been following, the dairy industry on the news or anywhere else knows that we've been through some real tough times, both financially and weather-wise. The weather refers to the drought of 2012 and the financial price structure of 2009, which virtually put the dairy industry out of business.
In 2009, we had a oversupply of milk because we lost some markets overseas, and that's kind of what drives our ups and downs in a lot of our dairy because of the overseas market. We produce quite a bit of milk that we send overseas. We send it in powder form. We dry the milk down in what we call whey, so we send that overseas. We lost the China market, we lost some other markets, and it just bombarded everything.
Milk, an important food for the health of the nation.
The dairy industry in Arkansas has been around since the 1800s.
Pasteurized milk.
We've been having milk cows, just like a lot of places throughout this country. When we first started out, 1 or 2 cow dairies, and you used the milk that particular day. You didn't have any way of storing that milk, so everybody had 1 or 2 cows. They got about 12 pounds of milk per cow per day. Today's standards, we got about 10 times that amount per cow. But in those days, with no way of storing it, they didn't push the cows for milk production, and what they did with their excess milk, they used that milk to barter with their neighbors to get something that they may need, or took it to town and sold it as cream, or whatever they needed to do. What people don't realize is, back in the mid-40s, Arkansas had 480,000 dairy cows. That's a lot of cows compared to the 8,000 cows we have now. But those cows in those days, like I said, produced 1.4 gallons of milk a day, or 12 pounds. And today's standards were well over 100, and you can do the math at that point.
We started dairying, it was the year after I got out of college. I graduated college in 1992, and we got started dairying in 94. And at the time in 1994, there were approximately 1,200 dairies in the state of Arkansas. And up till today, that number has dropped down to 68 farms. The number of dairies has steadily declined, and we're down into the high 60s and real low 70 numbers. In my opinion, the major reason for the number of dairies to decline to where they has strictly been the price of milk.
There are many things in Arkansas dairy farming that we have no control over. One of those is milk price, and we've seen volatile years. And 2009 was probably at the very, very lowest from 2009 to 2011. The milk price was a hardship for everyone across the state and really across the nation.
When it comes to the price of milk, I'm not sure anybody can understand it. I know for sure I don't, but I do know some of the factors that go into pricing. The government plays a large role
in how it's priced. How it is used plays a large role in how it's priced. We don't get paid for our milk until after it's consumed, and depending on who consumed it and how, such as ice cream or butter or fluid milk, they all carry different levels of pay. And our pay is based on a blend of all those as to where it went.
The challenge with low milk price is being able to buy feed. Feed is one of those expenses on the dairy. It's one of your largest expenses. And 2009 with the low milk price was really hard to pay for your feed. But then when we kind of emerged into better milk prices, we came into the drought. We actually in Northwest Arkansas had drought in 2011, but we had it severely in 2012, which we had to purchase every bit of feed, all the hay that we typically would have raised, we had to purchase. So thank goodness the milk price became better, because that did enable us to stay in business. But drought doesn't just end in 1 year. We're going to be recovering from drought probably for 5 years because of the expense to the feed that we had to purchase to keep our animals alive.
Some of the reason, or say the majority of the reason for the decline, is the fact that there has absolutely not been a profit to be made over the last, at least the last 10 years, and probably more like the last 15 years in the industry itself. When you work all year long and you just break even, it's a difficult decision to continue to want to stay in the industry when there are other options available.
In 1985 in Benton County there were 380 dairies, and today there are only 13. Part of that in our area of the state is the urbanization. We're growing like crazy with people, and therefore land is being purchased at a high price, so it doesn't make a lot of sense for a farmer to farm the land when he could sell it and make more money.
Especially in Faulkner County, even in central Arkansas itself, the oil and gas industry moved in, and it presented numerous opportunities for lots of farms to just sell out. And they had gas leases that came about that presented tremendous opportunity with no work and no investment.
And unfortunately, what our guys do is when profits are good, they can get a lot for their cows. And that's when they get out, particularly if they're an older family, older man and wife, or whoever it may be, getting closer to retirement age, and they said, "Ma, it's time to sell the cows."
We still feel very positive about dairy farming. It's our passion. And I think there will still be dairy farms because we still have dairy farmers that are interested in doing dairy production. We're still trying to look at what can we do to attract young people.
I've got 13 nieces and nephews in the family that hopefully that we'll have some of them interested. At the moment, they love being out here and love playing on the farm.
We have slowed down the decline in dairy farms in the state of Arkansas. Can I sit here and say that we won't lose some more? No, I can't say that. But what I'm hoping what we'll do is we can entice some other farmers from outside of the state of Arkansas, or maybe some farmers in the state to stay in business. Maybe a son or daughter will go back to the business. The Arkansas consumer has spoken saying we want locally produced milk. So if we all can get together, the state of Arkansas, the co-ops, the processors, and everybody get together, then there's a lot of smart minds, smart people out here. Let's figure this out, and we can increase the milk supply in the state of Arkansas to Arkansas consumers. And that's ultimately goal is to produce more milk for local people.
We'll talk more about the dairy industry in Arkansas a bit later in the show with Butch Calhoun, Secretary of the Arkansas Agriculture Department. But first, back in 2013, the Arkansas legislature made it legal to sell raw milk from some small farms in the state. The legislation was framed as a freedom of choice issue and has boosted the bottom line in a few operations. Summer Kitchen Family Farms in Fayetteville is one of those operations.
My name is Mariah White. My husband Ira and I co-own and operate our farm, Summer Kitchen Family Farm. We're in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Come on, nice James. Our farm is pretty diverse. It's small. We have almost 200 laying hens, and we have 10 hogs and a sow, and we have 5 dairy cows and a calf right now. And so we raise pork, chicken for eggs and meat, and we have the milk.
So, is there a specific order that we milk the cows in?
Well, we started selling raw milk about a year ago. It became fully legal. Before that, we had just one dairy cow, and we were milking for ourselves mostly. We consume a lot of milk, like 10 to 14 gallons a week. So, and we had just a little bit extra for some of our friends. And then after it became legal, it was just, and people were asking us for it before that. And so it's really evolved. We didn't see ourselves becoming a dairy, but the demand for it has been so high that seems like every 6 months since then we've had to buy another cow and another cow to keep up with the demand.
So the current law that was passed in 2013 allows people to sell up to 500 gallons of milk at their farm. And it requires that the people that sell it put up a sign to alert the customers that the milk is unpasteurized. Requires labeling of any products that are taken away to be labeled that it's unsafe. And it doesn't, on the other hand, require any testing or screening by the health department or any other entity. So the main message is buyer beware. You may be buying a product that could cause hospitalization or death to you or your family member if you drink this product.
Hey Cypress, it's out here in the milk stall. Raw milk is milk that's been unpasteurized. It's not homogenized. It comes from the cow. It goes into a tank and we put it in jars and put it in the refrigerator. And other than that, it's not seen any kind of processing. It's not inspected by the state here in Arkansas. And so our customers do their own inspections. They come here to the farm and they look at our farm and our cows and watch us milk and then decide to proceed from there. Milking is kind of an all-consuming business. It's 7 days a week, year-round, twice a day. So you have to be pretty dedicated. You have to really love it, I think. And so we start our mornings off with our cows and we end our days with our cows. All told, we spend about 2.5 hours in the morning, 2.5 hours in the evening on our cows, and that's just regular maintenance. That's not working on fencing or taking them to vets or doing anything extra. If somebody wants to drink raw milk, if they wanted to get it from us, they would just call us and say they were interested. And we would let them know what days we have availability. We did just buy another cow, so we have a couple of days that have a few open spots. Almost all of our milk customers get their milk by subscription, which has also been, it's just evolved into that everybody wants their milk once a week and they want to know that it's theirs and it's going to be here for them. I'm really appreciative that the legislation has come to allow for people to decide if that's what they want to consume or not. I feel like a lot of people do their own research and can make good decisions for themselves. And so I'm very appreciative of that, being once a raw milk consumer and having to beg for raw milk when it was not legal. I love it that it's easy for people to get now.
As we just heard, the Arkansas Department of Health is a proponent of pasteurization and warns against consuming raw milk. Some, though, feel that the benefits outweigh the risks, so you want to do your own research on this before you try raw milk yourself. Arkansas has a long list of locally made products, from Arkansas wine and craft beer to edamame. In that list, you will also want to add Arkansas cheese. We recently visited Little Rock cheesemaker Kent Walker to find out a bit more about the cheese-making process.
Kent Walker Artisan Cheese is a handmade artisan cheesemaker. So what that means is that we are making cheese from really high quality ingredients, local, good raw milk. We are making it all by hand as opposed to machine made. The difference there being, every day the process is just a little bit different due to factors out of control, just the humidity in the air or something. That's something that a human cheesemaker can monitor and adjust to, but a machine really can't. We're doing cave-aged cheeses, which really helps the quality of the cheese to come up. We're getting good milk in the morning, raising the temperature to about 70 degrees, adding in rennet, which is an enzyme that coagulates the milk into a curd. We've also added culture at this point, which is the bacteria that ages the cheese, make sure all cheese doesn't just taste like milk. After the curd is set up, which takes about an hour, we cut the curd into little pieces called curds. We press these curds into wheels using our molds and our Dutch style press, and then they get aged for at least 2 months, but typically 3 or even longer, years even. What we're doing right now, we're making some habanero cheddar, and it takes about 8 hours to go from milk to a wheel of cheese on the press. That wheel is going to be on there anywhere from just a few hours to like 30 hours for cheddar, and then of course it has to age. And all of our cheeses are aged about 3 months. Right now we're doing goat and cow milk cheeses. We've got the goat Gouda and feta. We also have in our cow milk cheeses habanero cheddar, Leicester, and garlic Montasio. And those are really a good smattering of different styles of cheeses. We've got some English styles, Italian, Dutch styles, and Greek styles in there. KentWalkerCheese.com has the full list of where you can find our cheeses. We've worked with a variety of restaurants in the area, as well as outside of the state, that carry our cheeses for anything from cheese plates to using them as ingredients in some really amazing dishes. Had some wonderful feedback, partially due to the good local movement. Everybody's wanting to know where their food comes from, and just knowing the person who made your food is really high up on a lot of people's priority lists. Right now, our main kind of tasting room is the farmer's market. That's where I run into our customers, and people get to meet me and my employees face to face, and really just get to talk about what goes into the cheese making and the business.
How you like it?
If you're interested in finding more local products, the Arkansas Agriculture Department has a resource for you with their Arkansas Grown website at arkansasgrown.org. There you will find a searchable list of Arkansas Grown products. Joining us now is Butch Calhoun, Secretary of the Arkansas Agriculture Department, and Frederick Simon, one of the owners of Simon Brothers Dairy in Conway. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us today. A lot of questions. Disturbing news there was about the decline in the number of dairies in Arkansas over the years, and we heard several reasons for that, the decline in foreign markets, but I guess when you get right down to it, is the cost of producing milk in Arkansas.
Basically, that's the main thing, Tony, is the cost and what the milk was bringing, and what the producers, if they could afford to grow it or not, or produce the milk with their herds and everything. So that's kind of, we've been on a downhill spiral for many years here, and if I think I'm correct in saying that we're only producing about 20% of the milk here in the state, that we're using here in the state.
Right.
And most of our milk is coming in from Texas, New Mexico, and that area. So it's just it's an industry that's really fallen down. In the state, we come through with some programs a few years ago and tried to help for a while when the prices got so bad. But again, it's just an industry, and I'm hoping it's bottomed out. We've heard of 2 new dairies that's coming in. People are putting them in right now up in White County, and so we're hoping maybe we've hit the bottom and we're coming back up.
People like me that have never been around dairy operations, Frederick, what are some of the most expensive things that you encounter trying to run a farm like yours?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The single largest expense on the farm is your feed cost. And without being able to manage that and to keep a handle on it and keep those costs under control, there's no significant profit to be made in that. I mean, feed costs run on an average U.S. dairy, they run as high as 50 to 55%. And that's very difficult in order to be profitable with the expenses at that high of your gross income.
Now, I'm encountering something here that I've not seen in other crops, is how prices are set. And this is a rather complicated procedure, how that's done. We talk about Class A milk and Class B milk and end users. You guys, give me a short lesson on how that works.
Frederick will know a whole lot more about that than me, so I'm going to be very short and just say that I don't understand it. There are federal milk orders over the United States. We're in the Southeast order. There are certain factors that go into it, and it's something it's a very complex system.
Okay.
But Frederick can probably tell you a lot more about that than me.
I'll try to give a simplified answer to this. It all boils down to as to how the milk is actually used. And by how it's used, I'm referring to as to what type of product is actually manufactured from the milk. The classifications are classes 1, 2, 3, and then you've got class 4 with the A and a B under the class 4. And that all is fluid, cheese, your powdered products, and then even like your condensed milk products that go into carnation instant milks, for instance. Anyway, not only the classifications of the milk, each one of those classifications of milk bring a different price, paid a different price. So therefore, in order for the dairy farmer to receive a paycheck, the milk that actually is like removed from the cow, let's say in the month of October, we wait until it goes to the plant, see the percentage of each product that is made from that milk, and then we're paid for it in the month of November, 30 days later.
Okay. And there is a lack of end producers here in Arkansas. I mean, at least, are there enough producers here in Arkansas, the end user, where you take that milk to be made into cream or ice cream, or does that create a problem for you?
To some extent, yes, because as long as all the milk meets the specs of the health department to go into fluid, there's no problem with it. But occasionally, if you get a load of it, that if the temperature gets too warm to meet the specification of going into fluid milk, which would be here in Arkansas, well, then you have to divert that milk to some other location, which is usually several thousand miles from Arkansas. And there's an additional cost in the transportation of that milk, which when you figure that into the equation coming into the month, it lowers your price. Whereas if there were a cheese plant in the state, we only had to haul it a few hundred miles, we would be more profitable as a result of it.
So there's all type of uncertainty. And for you guys trying to make a profit, if you want to invest in new equipment or increase your herd, that makes it very difficult for you. And what measures are being taken to make sure that guys like you and future generations can remain in this business?
Well, naturally, if you're sitting in my shoes as a dairy producer, you control the one and the only controllable thing that's out there, and that's our expenses. The income is somewhat dictated by the market, which we have really no say-so as to what price the milk is going to be paid to us. But we can help to control our expenses.
Right.
And there again, feed being the highest expense, you start with the highest and then you work your way down the list.
And then when you have a year like 2012 where you have a drought, that takes several years to recover from that.
That will take, I'm going to say, 4 or 5 years before you honestly get back on your feet following a catastrophic drought such as 2012. 2012, we had to, if you want to say so, a double dip from the standpoint that we tried to plant our crops, and there was total crop failure. Therefore, we had to turn around and then buy all of the hay and the corn silage in order to feed the cows, to keep them going. And it creates a very difficult financial decision on the producer's end in a year like that.
Yeah. It's tough to keep going. Tough to keep going.
The thing about it is that the cows are not like a water faucet. You can't just go out there and shut them off. You have to keep milking them every day.
And Frederick brought up a very good point there. The row crop people, we can hold our crops, or they can hold their crops. They can put them into co-ops where they're sold throughout the year. They can build grain storage. With milk products, it's moving right then. There's no holding anything.
It's a perishable product, and the shelf life on the farm isn't but 2 days, and it has to move to market.
Well, speaking of moving along, we're running out of time, but we've got about 30 seconds left, and I do want to mention that Butch is retiring.
I'm retiring. December the 31st.
We hate to see you go, but I know you've got good plans.
You know, Tony, there's a time for everything, and I've really enjoyed my time in state government. Is first at Rural Services for a few years, and then as Secretary of Agriculture, and I farmed for 30 years, and still I plan on spending a lot more time on my farm. But it's been great getting to know all the people in the industry and working with all areas of the agricultural industry in Arkansas.
Well, hopefully we can have both you gentlemen back again another time to visit with us. And we thank you. That's all the time we have for now. And thank you for joining us. We hope that you'll join us next time for Agri Arkansas. I'm Tony Brooks.
Major funding for this program provided by the Moving Image Trust Fund. Additional funding for this program provided by the Arkansas Agriculture Department.